Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to this new video, and in this video I'm going to be rendering and inking Death Monger once again. But this time this isn't the same Death Monger from the previous video. This is a Death Monger in another panel of the same page that I was working on previously. So here, as you saw in the previous video, you see that I have marked off the dark areas of the muscles with pencil, and so now I'm going over with the brush pen to ink those areas. What I'm doing is spotting blacks is what it's called, if I'm not mistaken. And so I'm just going over this area of the torso and the arm and coloring in all of the areas that I feel should be in solid blacks. And yeah, so that's normally my procedure. Before doing this, I just ink just the pure line art, and then after I do the line art, I erase the pencils. Then I also highlight the muscle areas and then ink. And yeah, so by the time I'm finished with my inks, there's absolutely, or at least very minimal pencil marks on the paper, so I erase everything as I get it done. And yeah, so that's part of my process. I think if you have seen my previous videos, you would know that's the process that I choose for rendering my art. And yeah, I mean, maybe one day I might do a little variation on that, but I don't know. We'll see what happens, because there's so many aspects of art that I have yet to discover. So I may end up changing my my progress and my process someday down the line. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm trying, and I'm also doing that just to also stay consistent with the kind of art that you see from page to page. I want to try to make everything appear uniform in the art style. So I'm not going to stray too much from what you see here, at least in this preview book. I may change up a little bit when it comes to the main book. And yeah, so this is page 4 of the preview comic that I'm working on, and yeah, the preview comic is for my own IP. It's called Ominus, and it's a story of an 18-year-old boy. It's a coming of age story as he goes through things that happen to him. Yeah, he's on an errand to go do something for his family, and then as he's running that errand, things happen around him that pull him into a situation that he was not prepared for, that he had not planned. And yeah, so that's the story of the main book. In this preview book, I'm just simply having fun with some of the characters that I have introduced. And so here in this book, you're going to see Death Monger, which is the character that I'm rendering right now. You're going to see him face off with the main character, whose name is Zadok. And yeah, one of the reasons why I decided to start off with this fight was because from the very beginning, from the first moment that I introduced Death Monger, I have gotten nothing but positive feedback in terms of his design, his look, and the name. Also, people think that he's really cool. And yeah, I had a feeling that the reception would be to that degree, in some, to that intense to some degree. Because I've seen some of the artwork and the kind of art and the styles that is common in the indie scene, and I thought that this design would probably be something that people like. I didn't think it would get the reception that it has gotten, and so that surprised me a bit, and actually it surprised me to the point that I've decided to do something a little bit different with him than I had originally intended in the story. So I'll probably explain to you what that is, like once everything is said and done. But yeah, I mean, I've heard the feedback from everybody, and yeah, so I mean, I want to do something a little bit different with him, and and yeah. So yeah, so I'm happy that people like him, and so here in this preview comic, I'm just gonna just really not worry on the story. It's just gonna be a fun, all-out battle scene between these two characters, and yeah. So I hope you guys like what I have to show you with this comic, and yeah. So I hope you guys like it. And yeah, see, and what you're seeing right now is rendering. With this case, I'm rendering this with the Micron, and with Microns, I normally do what you're seeing right now, which is just flicking the pen, just flick. But in these last few pages, I've been doing this thing that you see right now, actually, where I'm drawing like a base to the rendering line, and then I flick off that, and so it gives it a little bit more depth, I guess you can say. So I'm doing this, yeah, this little base right here. It's like a little foundation to the rendering line, and then from that I flick off. I flick away, flick away, flick away, flick away, flick away. It's like a very subtle way of creating a gradient, I guess you could say. Like a minor gradient, because one side is a certain degree of black, and then the darker side, the bottom side, is a little bit stronger in black. Almost like a fade away type effect. So yeah, I like what I did this in. I think in the previous panel, and I'm gonna start doing this for the rest, especially with these panels where Death Monger is a little bit smaller than I'm used to drawing him. So yeah, it's working out pretty good, and yeah, so there it is. So that's the process. I do the base first, and then I do the other rendering line. And yeah, so yeah, in this comic, it's just these two characters going at it. I'm just drawing a straight up fight scene. All 10 pages is a fight scene, and the first 2 pages that I have revealed like sets up the fight. But then now I'm in the actual fight. So yeah, I think people will dig it. I think people will really like it, and hopefully you'll get to see also the kind of art style that you're going to see in the book. You're also going to see just some elements to the characters. For example, their costumes, Zadok, for example, and the sword that he uses in the fight, and the setting, like the setting where this takes place is actually going to be a setting from the story. So yeah, so it's going to help familiarize the reader with the world of Ominus, and yeah, and I hope you guys like it. And yeah, so the plan is that for later this year I actually start on the main book. So after I finish this and I get this out to you, I'll get started on the main book, and yeah, so let's see what happens. Yeah, so here, this is how I render the back area. Yeah, and for this piece, for example, I had to look at study a lot pics of anatomy in the back, because normally I don't do a lot of back shots like this. But the scene that I'm drawing warrants that kind of shot and angle, so I have to investigate and search and look at good anatomy references and pics and stuff like that to make sure that I draw a competent image of these characters, which is always the goal. The goal is to draw something that reads as I'm intending it to read. You know, like if I draw a rock, I want you to know that it's a rock that I'm drawing, and then that's always been like a challenge for me, because I draw something one way, and then sometimes people read it another way, and I'm like, man, I didn't pull off that effect as I thought I would. And so it's good, because to a certain degree, because it pushes me to find out other ways to render certain images or draw them in different ways so that they read as they're supposed to. So it's good in that sense. But it is also sometimes a little like a downer, I guess you could say, because like you put a lot of effort into something and then it's not what you had intended it to be. So it was good. I mean, this is part of the learning curve with art. You know, you so much to learn, and you're never quite finished learning. So So it's really cool. And yeah, so I hope you like the art, because this is the kind of style that I'm bringing to the pages. And yeah, and I want to stay consistent with that all throughout the story, and all throughout these pages. And yes, I just hope you dig it. I hope you dig it. And yeah, for anybody who may be curious, I'm going to release this digital, strictly digital. I have no plans at the moment to get this to you in the physical format. I may one day. I don't know. I have no idea what will happen in terms of that. Like, I've heard a few comments from some creators about how to get it out to people, and I appreciate all of the support. I have not yet made any decisions or really thought too much about it, because right now my brain is wrapped around the fact of getting the art done and getting the book finished first, which is a lot of work. This is the first time I'm doing a comic, and so the first time I'm doing a comic to this degree of seriousness, I would say. I've done other comics like as a plaything, so like playing around in the sense that I didn't give it my best artistically, and I didn't have like an actual story set in mind, and it wasn't like something that I really wanted to put all my effort behind for different reasons. But in this case, yes, I am I'm trying to do my absolute best with the pages, with the artwork that I present, also with the story, and yeah, I hope you like it. And yeah, I mean, I'm proud of the work that I'm doing, and the reception that the book may have could influence any decisions that I take in the future. But this book is going to get made regardless if the people like it or not, because I really want to see this finished. And yeah, I hope no one takes any offense to that, because like if people don't like it, then I totally understand their opinion about not liking it. I mean, everybody's got the right to like and not like certain things of comics, but I'm going to continue working on it. I'm going to continue doing it, finishing it, and getting it done. And that's my goal for comics, is to get this entire story out there. And I know it's going to take a long time too, because it's a pretty long story. I don't know how many issues I might have to draw, but yeah, I'm assuming like it's going to be like a good chunk of years to get it done. But I don't mind, because I got a lot of cool ideas, and I can't wait to get started on it. In terms of the story, I'm still writing the story, and I'm still trying to untangle a certain part towards the end. So I'm like 3/4 of the way done. Still that last part, I'm trying to like organize exactly how things are going to unfold. Like I have an idea how it's going to end. I know how it's going to end. I have an idea how to execute that ending, but there's like just little elements that I have to like make sure that I get in place, so I don't like write myself into a corner and then write things, say things, mention things, draw things that don't make sense or that don't connect. So I want to make sure that all the dots get lined up, and yeah, so I'm still working on that. Yeah, so I'm aiming to have this done. I'm assuming, considering what I've done so far, I'm assuming that I'll have this done by mid-March, at least the line art. And then from there, I'll see what I can do about the colors and the grayscale. Then I'll see about getting it lettered. And then after all that is done, I'll think about how to get the PDF file out to you guys. And then I'll start announcing how to get that. And yeah, so you can see how I do the rendering. I do the base. In this case, because of the limited space here, I'm not using a base. I'm just go ahead straight flicking it off from the dark area to the light area. And Also respecting the shape of the area that I'm drawing. Also, for example, here I'm drawing the bicep, so I want to respect the curve that the bicep has. So I'm curving the base a little bit and also curving the rendering lines, the feathering lines, upwards and around, I guess you can say, so it can give that sense of depth to a certain degree, And then the same thing here on this muscle, and then also at the tricep at the bottom area. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what that muscle is called. Maybe somebody can comment on it. And yes. Also, I want to apologize for the background noise. Yeah, but as I mentioned before, I live in an apartment building and everything is tight, and our neighbors are very close. I don't know if you can or not hear anything, but just in case if you do, I'm sorry. And yeah, so here I'm rendering this bottom part, the tricep. The character's name is Death Monger. I created him, must have been 2003, 2005. I'm gonna make a video about that because similar to how I have a video about the early designs of Zadok, I also have a video of the early designs of Death Monger also, and I'll show you exactly how I have how his look has also evolved from the past until what it is now, and yeah, and which is really cool. It was really interesting when I got onto the indie scene because there's one character whose face looks very similar to Death Monger's, and you probably know who it is. But it's the main character for Joe Ball's Death. He's got round eyes also and like skullish features on his face. When I first saw the design, I was like, wow, that's so cool. And it was like, yeah, it was very similar to what I'm doing with Death Monger. Not saying in any way that he copied or I copied or anything like that, but I just thought it was really cool that I wasn't the only guy to think of something like that, or to think that something like that would be cool. And so that was pretty interesting realization that I had. And I think it'd be cool if I draw both of them together one day. Pretty cool. But yeah, and yeah, so here I'm rendering the bones, that the bone texture material thing that comes out from him. It's reminiscent of Doomsday. Just comes out of him, and right now I have like a set design with the bone things that come out, but I'm gonna have more flexibility with that in the actual main story. But I'll explain things like that later on. I don't want to get you guys too confused. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video. That's the process that I use to render Death Monger. And yeah, so please, if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Also, please share, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. And before you go, don't forget that I'm working on my own comic. It's called Ominus, and it starts with a 10-page preview with story and artwork by yours truly, featuring this sweet cover colored by the awesome Matt Yackey. So be sure to follow me on Twitter and subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on everything.